Hello and welcome back to Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger on March 20th, 2021. A little bit later, and we would have to do another Survival Sunday. As usual, I went out to a pub with a couple of good friends and had a dinner and a couple of beer. So, luckily, I actually got back in time to do today's video. I'm going to quiz you guys with this little question. Don't worry, there's no punishment or consequence if you get it wrong. But this is something. This is one of those things that if you get it wrong here, there's no consequence. But if you get it wrong in real life, it may actually cost your life. So here it is. You are in conflict. Let's say you're at a pub and you're in conflict with another person, maybe another group of people. In the beginning, you're just shouting and making threatening gestures. You know that you're okay. You know that you're armed with your trusty self-defense weapon or tool, and you know how to defend yourself. So you're confident. You're not very scared. Suddenly, suddenly, the conflict escalated because suddenly one of the participants, one of the people that you're fighting with, make a gesture like this. For those who can't see the screen, suddenly the person you're fighting with, you're arguing with, reach into their pocket. Well, I guess if you can't see it, then this kind of become a moot point. But we will address that in a little bit too, because that is kind of relevant. But just so everyone's on the same page, suddenly the person you're arguing with reach inside their pocket in a rather obvious, aggressive manner. You know they're grabbing for something to hit you with, to stab you with, to shoot you with. What are you going to do? One, reach for your own self-defense weapon and kill them with it. Two, turn and run away. Three, turn and run away while extracting your own weapon. Four, jump in and try to tackle them. Five, it can be all of the above or none of the above because it is hard to give an accurate answer. Again, one, grab your own weapon and fight them. Two, turn and run away. Three, turn and run away while extracting your own weapon. Four, jump in and tackle them. And five, all of the above or none of the above. If your answer is number five, congratulations, you have been paying attention to your self-defense training because it is one of those situations where it can be all of the above or none of the above. Self-defense is not scripted, it's not set in stone. You can't have it in your head that if A happen, you need to do B. If C happen, you need to do C. Nothing else. You can't do that because when you have that set in your head, then suddenly neither A or C happens. K happens, and you don't know what to do. Okay? If you think A is going to be answered by B, and B is going to be answered by C, and C is going to be answered by D, well, what happens if suddenly someone does a Z, a Z? Do you, what do? You're going to go to A or what? So if you have a preconceived idea in your head that it has to be done this way, this is why a lot of martial artists get their butts kicked in a real life conflict. Because in their head, they have a pre-scripted idea how fights are supposed to go. We're supposed to bow to each other. You're supposed to wait for me to get into my fight stand. You're supposed to shake my hand, and then we go to our own corner, and then we come out, and you're not supposed to hit me in the face. You're not supposed to kick me in the groin. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. When I'm down on the floor, you're supposed to step back and give me time to step back up. Okay? They have a preconceived idea of how everything's supposed to go, which works great in tournament, but does not work on the street because the other person did not receive the same script that you did. So if you answer number five, if your answer is five, all of the above or none of the above, depending on the situation, depending on the environment, then congratulations, you get full score. And then if your answer is anything but number one, if you answer two, three, four, two, three, or four, then congratulations, you get 3/4 of the mark. You don't get a full score, but you get 3/4 because those are okay answers. Where you will fail is if you answer number one. Someone reach into the pocket and then you grab your self-defense weapon and then proceed to fight them like it's in some kind of a duel. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Do not fight a duel. This is not the old Wild West. This is not old England. This is not old France. This is not those days. You don't fight a duel nowadays. You'll get yourself killed. I'll tell you why. Okay? Remember, always remember this in self-defense and martial art. Action beats reaction. Reaction beats inaction. Okay? So action will almost always beat reaction, unless there's a great deal of skill difference. So let's say you are like a martial art master. You have been to the battlefield. You are some kind of trained ninja assassin. Then okay, then someone pulling out their weapon, I can say that maybe you can pull out your weapon in reaction to them and still defeat them in this case. But any other time, I don't care if you are brown belt, black belt, third degree black belt. If that other person is reaching into their pocket to pull out something, and then you see that, and then you reach into your pocket, you are going to get yourself killed or hurt really bad. Because this is how the sequence of events will go. One, the attacker reach into the pocket. Two, you reach into your pocket. Three, you pull out your weapon. Four, they stab you in the chest or shoot you in the head or hit you on the head. Because for you to deploy your weapon, it requires reacting to what they do, thinking about what you're going to do, like you got to pull it out and unfold the knife, how you're going to hold it, and do you or will you not use it? Okay, those are the three things: reacting, operating, and using. Reacting, operating, and using. Three things have to get sorted out in your head, translate down to your body within the time of them pulling out their weapon. How come they don't have to go through the same process? They do. But when they went through the same process, you didn't know. Because by the time they reach into their pocket, they already got those things figured out. They reach into their pocket because in their head, they already know what they're going to do. They already know they're going to take this out and hit you with it. And they don't have to think. They don't have to react to anything. They just do. Right? So you having to react and then figure out the course of action will slow you down. This is why number one is the only wrong answer in this little quiz. Number one is the only wrong answer. And I will show you guys that why the rest would work a lot better. Obviously, number five, depending on the situation, that's the smartest thing to do. Okay, and we don't even need to illustrate that. But let's take them one at a time. Number two, turn and run. Why is that better than pulling out your own weapon? Well, because you're creating distance. You're putting things and people between you and your attacker. One of the one of the best say I've ever heard of in self-defense was that it is actually extremely hard to kill a guy who is dedicated on getting away. Just like it is extremely hard to defend yourself against someone who is dedicated to get you killed. Okay? Dedication counts for a lot. Most of the time, most of the time, people get killed, people get hurt because they choose to stay and fight. Okay? If you have the choice, if you have the opportunity, if you have the choice, if it's an option, always, always, always run away. Okay? Don't take that for granted. Don't think that's the pussy ways out. I'm telling you that because I don't have that option. Being blind myself, I don't have that option. I wish I did. Then I don't have to fight so hard. I don't have to learn how to hurt people so much. I don't need to learn how to defend myself, even if it means sacrificing an arm or a leg. Okay? If I could just turn and run away, I would do that every single time because that is the smartest way to get out of the most immediate conflict. Okay? You standing here pulling out your weapon, you don't know what that guy knows. You don't know if they are ex CIA. You don't know if they used to be in army. You don't know if they stay home and watch knife fighting video 24 hours a day. And you don't know if they are like a sniper class marksman on the shooting range. You don't know. You just don't know. Okay? Whatever they pull out of their pocket, obviously they are carrying it because they know how to use it. No one's going to carry something that they don't really know how to use. No one is going to carry something, a weapon that they're not comfortable with. If they're carrying it, assume that they are expert at it. So when you pull your weapon out on the spot, you turn this into a duel, a Hollywood production. No good because you don't know. You're never sure if you can outmaneuver that person, if you have more skill than that person. So rather than pulling something out of your pocket, turn and dash across the room. Okay? Then you can assess the situation from across the room and see what exactly did they just pull out of their pocket. Right? What do you need to put between you and them? Duck under a table if they pull out a gun. Duck behind the door, whatever. Run out the back door, whatever. Okay? So that's number two. Number three, run and extract your weapon. This is also very important. If you do feel the need, if you are so confident that you are such a badass that you can beat them with your weapon, don't stand here and do it. Because, again, like I said, they already have everything figured out in their head when the moment they reach in their pocket. You are reacting to what they do. Okay, so for you to pull your thing out and react to, maybe you have to block before you can even deploy your knife and get into a proper karambit grip or whatever you're using. Okay, maybe it's too late when you do this on the spot. So I actually saw this little demonstration on YouTube a couple of months ago, where this the world's one of the world's best knife person was testing against one of the best gun person, and It was a simple thing. You stand there, I stand here, I pull out a knife, you pull out a gun. See, I stab you first or you shoot me first. In the beginning, almost every single time, the person with the knife stabbed the person with the gun first, just because of how fast a knife is, and the gun takes too long. Okay. However, in the end, the guy with the gun was able to figure out a way to make it work for him. What he did was, as soon as he saw the guy pull out the knife, he turned around and he ducked down, roll across the floor, pull out his gun, and then shoot him from the floor. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you extract your weapon. You don't stand here and do it. You run across the room and pull out your weapon and turn around and face the person when you have distance between you, when you can see and assess what they got. And you got your own weapon ready in your hand. Okay? Don't just stand there like you're fighting a duel. Number 4, rush in and tackle them. This sounds like a suicide, but I'm going to show you guys a little demonstration that it's not going to look a little bit hokey because I don't have a partner here. But I think you guys can get my point even on this. Okay, uh, I'm going to count to 3, and after 3, not on 3, but after 3, that number 3 is equivalent of me spotting the person pulling, reaching into the pocket. Okay, so on 3, I'm going to grab my own weapon and get it ready and defend myself with it. Right? Okay? And keep in mind, I am by all means not an expert, a knife fighter. I'm not an expert marksman, but I have been known to be one of the faster people that I train with. So I'm not slow. I'm actually quite fast. I'm going to slow this down a little bit just so this because one thing that we got to compensate for here is that I know after 3 I need to move. In real life, sometimes it takes you a split second to register. Oh crap, this person's reaching for a weapon because you're not going to stand there the whole evening thinking that person's reaching for their weapon. Okay, so we will slow this down a little bit just to compensate for that. Okay, so here, I'm going to just stand naturally, my hand out in front of me like, hey, it's okay, I don't want to fight with you guys. You know, obviously I'm not going to have my hand in my pocket the whole time holding onto my knife. That would be cheating. And if you walk around like that, then, you know, you got to re-evaluate your lifestyle. But okay, so we're going to go from totally at ease, my hands in front of me. It's okay, dude. It's okay. I don't want to fight with you. And then 1, 2, 3, done. Okay. I don't know how long that takes. I'm estimating 2 seconds for me to grab my knife out of my pocket, extracting it, and getting into a combative situation, combative pose, right? That is me knowing after 3 I need to move. Okay, that is me not being surprised. Okay, so okay, same experiment. My hand in front of me. After 3, I'm going to charge in and tackle the person. Okay, and here we go. So here I'm here like a hand holding out in front of me. Hey, dude, I don't want to fight. 1, 2, 3, boom, done. Okay, less than 2 seconds. I cover. Okay, less than 2 seconds. I cover um, just about 5 feet of distance. If I'm really amped up, if I'm really, uh, I'm alert, I'm really nervous, I can do way faster than that. Just like I could draw faster. But I think in the end, you get my point. The time it would take for me to jump in, cross that distance, it's way faster than grabbing my own weapon and get it ready. Okay, and by doing this, you have the potential of stopping the weapon from coming out in the first place. What do I mean by that? If the person reaching into his pocket and I reach into my pocket. I pull out my knife, and they pull out their knife. Okay, let's say we pull out our knife roughly the same time, even though they reach for theirs first. But I'm so cool, I'm such a ninja, I pull mine out at the same time they did. This turned it into an contest. Even contest. What does it mean? Because now they got a knife, I got a knife. Okay? They got a knife, I got a knife. I have to worry about if maybe their knife is bigger than mine. Maybe they're pulling out a gun. Okay? I would feel really foolish if I do my ninja thing. I pull out the knife and they pull out a gun and boom, shoot me in the face. That would be really silly of me, right? Okay, so this is silly to stand here and do this quick draw contest. If as soon as they reach in the pocket, I jump in and clamp their arm to their side. Now they can't extract. I'm going to back up a bit so you guys can actually see me. If I clamp, if okay, let's say I'm going to turn my back to the camera so you guys can see my arm, right? Let's say my right arm is a bad guy, is reaching into the pocket, and then I come around and clamp it to their side. Now it's going to be slower for them to pull this out because I'm going to hold on for dear life, right? Once I clamp onto that arm, I'm going to be knee into the groin, headbutt into the face, eye, finger into the eyes, and at the same time, while I'm clamping on with maybe one arm, okay, maybe one arm, because they're only drawing with one arm. If I can clamp their hand down with one arm, I can now extract my knife at point zero. And okay, don't go out and kill people, but no, I'm just illustrating. No, so being reactive to draw your weapon is not a good way to do it. Right? You either want to create distance or you want to jump in and stop their weapon from coming out, or wrestle their weapon if their weapon is halfway out. Okay? A lot of time when I get into combat drills, knife versus knife, uh, gun versus gun, or I get into self-defense scenarios, sparring situation where it's like a knife fighting or stick fighting or gun fighting scenario. A lot of time I will go into it with my hand totally bare. I will not even reach for my own weapon. As soon as the combat start and the other person start to extract their weapon, I will jump in and grab that weapon from them or stop their weapon from coming out and then extract my own weapon and contest is over. Okay? That is not me showing off and say, hey, look, I can beat you even though you have a knife and you're pulling out your knife and I don't have one. It is nothing to do with me showing off how badass I am. This is simply me understanding that if I play your game, you pull your knife, I pull my knife, most likely I'm going to lose because you move first. But if I can stop you from pulling out that knife by kicking you in the groin or clamping onto your wrist or headbutting you in the face to begin with, then I most likely don't even need to pull out my own knife. Because now I know where your knife is because you just reached for your left pocket. So now that I got you down on the floor or I got you restrained, I can reach in, take your weapon out, throw it away, and then call the police. Right? So again, when someone is reaching into the pocket, don't try to do the quick draw. Don't try to do the wild, wild west with them. Either run away and get your weapon, or jump right in and take them down, nice and hard. Or the best answer, it's all depending on the situation, who's around you, where you're at, what kind of space are you working with. If you have a beer mug by your hand, then by all means pick it up as soon as you see them reaching in the pocket, pick up the beer mug and boom, right in the face, right? That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I did say I'm going to address the blindness issue, right? So, for our blind viewers, for people like myself who are blind, obviously we won't see it if someone suddenly reach into your pocket and pull out a knife. So that part of it is moot point, okay? You wouldn't even know it. So there's no point even worrying about that. But this also translates to if you are grappling with somebody, if you are in close proximity, fighting, jostling, pushing, shoving against somebody, and you feel their arm. Let's say you got a hold of their shoulder, you got a hold of their arm, and you suddenly feel them go down into their pocket. Okay? Do not, I'm going to repeat, do not reach into your own pocket for your own weapon because your part of your head go, hey, they're reaching for a weapon, I should reach for mine. Do not do that. You will get killed. Okay? If you feel the moment you feel their hand go down into their pocket, you want to do two things. One, control that hand. Two, put them down fast, as fast as you can. Neutralize them. Hit them in the head, jab a finger into their eyes, knee in the groin, bite into the throat. Okay? I'm not going to elaborate on that, but number one, control, stop their arm from coming back out. Two, put them down as fast as you can, however you can. Because as blind people, we don't have the leisure of turning and running away. We don't have the leisure of being able to quickly see where's the exit. What do we have around us? Table, chair, whatever we can hide behind. We don't have any of those options. So the moment you feel them reach for their pocket, for their belt, for their boot, that is the time to go into now or never mode. It's to uh, kill or be killed. I hate to put it that way, but uh, when you're blind, that is a reality you would have to deal with if and when. I hope that never happened, but if and when you're in a fight and you feel the person reaching into their pocket for something. Thank you for checking out today's Survival Saturday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday. For now, have a good night.